Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today is going to be a video that's a follow-up of a video I did yesterday called DVD number 4 is now available. And I thank the people that have purchased the DVD set and in the inquiries. It actually had a pretty good idea from a subscriber named Nate. He asked me about the topics or what does DVDs 1, 2 through 3 entails. And I kind of gave him an overview off the top of my head. But I thought it would actually be a good idea to actually give you the segments per DVD so you know exactly what you're going to be purchasing. So I'm going to do that. DVD number 1 consists of, segment number 1 consists of the chord root on the E string. And when you purchase my DVDs, you get this chart. And this is kind of like the holy grail of guitar chords because someone from the Conservatory of Music gave me this chart, and this is why I'm able to play all the songs that I play. Because for years I studied with teachers, and I really wasn't getting anything out of it other than stuff that they taught me that I would never apply or would never apply it. So when I was given this chart, my plan just really just took off. And DVD number 1 really goes into detail about the chart. So segment number 1 is about the chords that you form on the heavy E string, the E string. Segment number 2 is the chords on the root on the A string. So I go through the same chords that I teach you on the E string and then versions on the A string. Because it's important to learn to know at least 2 inversions of these chords so you can play them up and down the neck. And the reason being is this. Say, for instance, you have a C major 7 root on the A string, which is the string that I usually use for my major 7 chords. But say, for instance, it's the C major 7 on the record is a much brighter one. So you can actually, form your C major 7 root on the E string, which has a different tone. It's either brighter or darker. So that's the reason why it's good to know at least 2 inversions. Segment number 3, I discussed this. And this is the number 1 question that I get from my subscribers. How do you get such a good tone out of these guitars? Because your guitars sound great. And I go into detail how you can do that. And it doesn't cost you, or you don't have to spend $2,000, $3,000 on the guitar to get those types of tones. So, because the majority of my guitars are under $100. I usually get my guitars used because I don't need to buy them new. I mean, that's just an additional $300 or whatever, because guitars are like jewelry, you take care of them, they last a lifetime, and sometimes the value goes up. So segment 4 on DVD number 1 is how to buy a guitar. And I walk you through how to buy a guitar without spending a lot of money and listening to the marketing people. You ain't cool or you can't play well if you don't have a Les Paul or $3,000 guitar. That's absolutely false. Segment number 5 is how to read sheet music. I briefly go into why it's important to know how to read sheet music and how it's not that difficult to do so. In order to do covers, you have to know structure of song, and sheet music helps you develop your structure. Then segment number 6 is just miscellaneous stuff. I go into various things in that particular segment. So DVD number 2 consists of, I give you a set of new chords to work with, because the first DVD gives you a lot as far as the chords built from the bar chords, because these are bar chords, I'm teaching you most of them. And the next segment, DVD number 2, I go into, I give you more chords that were not included in the first, because 90% of the chord songs that you play will be derived from just this chord, these chart, the major, minor, minor 7s, suspended 4s, and that nature. But I give you some extra added chords because the more chords you know, the more you can play different types of songs. Segment number 2 is, why is the bass player the guitar player's best friend in the band? And I go into detail why that's so, because a lot of people don't realize that, how much the bass player is relied on, especially for the guitar player. Segment number 3 is playing on different styles of music, because as you see on my channel, I play everything, from rock to pop to folk to show tunes, R&B, a little jazz, so the more you can play on different styles, the more valuable you become. And I go into detail how you can switch from style to style and know what to look for when you're trying to start to play, pop music or country or rock, because there's a different technique of rock guitar players versus R&B funk guys. You know, they don't do really the same things. And I go into detail how to focus in on what you need to learn to play these different styles. Segment number 5 is it's a tutorial on 2 songs that I can't play on YouTube because they've been blocked. So, the thing with YouTube is you don't realize what's going to be blocked until you post it up there. Because if I would have known ahead of time, if there was some type of database you can go in to determine they won't let you post this, you wouldn't really go into time wasting to do a video and only to have it rejected. So these 2 particular videos, which I won't name, then they're actually pretty good songs and they're popular. I include them in the DVD for training purposes and training purposes only. Okay, so that's DVD number 2. DVD number 3 is an overview of 1 and 2. I briefly go over what you've learned in 1 and 2. And then in segment 2, I give you additional new sets of chords to work on. And then segment number 3, why does this chart help you play faster? And again, I'm referring back to this because this is really important to get these finger grips under your belt. Because when you can do that, you can play a lot of different songs. Okay, segment number 4, things not to waste your time on while you're learning the guitar. Because again, we don't know what we don't know. And if we can head off some things that's going to take a lot of our time and kind of discourage us, we try to do that. And in this segment, I kind of walk you through things to not waste your time on while you're trying to learn guitar. Even though, some instructors try to, teach you these things, they're really not that important because the first important thing is to learn how to play your instrument. The theory thing is secondary, but according to, theory, in order to play the instrument, you got to learn this stuff. And that's partially not true. So that's segment number 4. And still under segment number 4, I have some subtitles or topics. And one is I touch on key signature and why that's not really important to know what key you're in. As long as you're playing the chords, you don't need to know that, unless you're writing scores or, doing, orchestra stuff. It's not necessary, but a lot of people would debate me on that. It's just important. It's not important. Okay, the next one is don't be a clone. And that's basically, I go into about how to try to find your own unique style. Because we all start off emulating our guitar heroes. Like me, I start off playing like Nile Rodgers. But eventually you want to develop your own style and not try to be a clone of other people. And then the next one is still under segment 4. Stop jumping from one guitar program to another. And that's a big problem with most people. They think that they're going to learn guitar in 2 months, and if the program doesn't deliver, they abandon it and go to another one, and then they abandon it instead of just sticking it out, because in order to become a good musician, you're going to have to put some time into it. This is not going to happen in a month or 2 months. It's going to take maybe a year to get decent. But it's going to be worth it because that's a skill that you keep for the rest of your life. You never stop being able to undo what you've done. So, I go into detail about what to not do and to stick it out with a good program. Now, if you first started on a crappy program, yeah, you need to abandon it. But my program, and I've told people, if you stick with it and learn actually just this, you'll be able to play a lot of stuff. But, some people want a quick fix and it's not going to happen. Okay, and segment number 5 is what effects units do I use to get the sound I use? And I go into detail about that and give suggestions. Segment number 6 and last is the action on your guitar. And that's important because I learned a long time ago, there's just some things that you want to keep personalized as far as this feels good under my fingers. But your instructor said, well, no, your strings are too low and you need to have them higher to build finger strength. Don't listen to that. You play the best way you can and what's comfortable to you, because if it's comfortable to you, you can play longer and you play better, as opposed to the strings are too high, your hands are hurting. You're not going to get too much enjoyment out of playing, your guitar when it's in that condition. So I go into detail about the action on your guitar and why is it important to have it set a certain way and how you can get it to be set a certain way. So that wraps up all 3 DVDs. And I do have DVD number 4 available, and I go into detail about how to read sheet music and how to cut through the chase and decipher it. And actually, I'm doing a revision of that DVD. I looked at it last night and I said, man, you know what? I can put some more stuff in here that can help you guys. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's going to be finished tomorrow. But that's, the overview of these DVDs. And they're only $10 a piece. I mean, I cram a lot of information into these DVDs. And I look at it this way. If you go to a regular music teacher, which I'm not trying to replace by no means, you're going to spend like $30 to $40 for 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, they're just going to give you a little piece of what you need to work on. And then, after the lesson is over, you $30, $40 broke and cheaper. In the hole or in the red. But with my DVDs, you can always refer back to them, and they're constantly a good use for you because I give you so much stuff that it's going to take you a couple of weeks to probably a couple of months to kind of, get comfortable with and do. So that's why this is such a great value as opposed to, and I'm not trying to discourage you to go into music teachers. Actually, I'm encouraging you to do that too. But I'm just giving you the difference between spending $30 for 30 minutes and then spending $10 for like 45 minutes, 35 minutes to 45 minutes worth of information that will span over weeks and months that you can kind of grasp. So if you're interested in purchasing my DVDs, of course, you can inbox me. I give you information. Once payment has been received, DVDs go out the next day. So on that note, I'm signing off. If you guys got any questions, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. As always, thank you for coming to my channel. Take care.